Hey there! Do you sometimes wonder which class can I take in college that I'm going to completely love? So we interviewed a bunch of students across universities and asked them, and the results surprised us. From a class that helped them choose their major, to a Japanese class, to a complete letting off steam class, a class about bitcoins, or something that made them the person who they are today. Let's sneak a peek into what they say. Happy watching!
I took this class called The Body and the Mind, and this class basically investigated the link between the brain, the mind and the body.
Okay.
Because the conventional view has been that the brain is, this independent thinking organ which the body really doesn't influence much. But recent research has in fact shown that the body influences the brain as much as the brain influences the body.
Oh, okay.
So this class investigated the mechanisms through which these interactions took place. And it was fantastic because it was basically taught by one of the leaders in the field who was literally at the forefront of the research. So most of the papers we read were written by him, and you could literally walk up to him and ask him any question about this field.
Wow.
So that was by far the most interesting class.
I think that's the plus of being in U Chicago. Probably has the most number of Nobel laureate professors, I think.
Sure, yeah, there's
or
this,
one of them.
there's this shirt with all the Nobel Prizes behind them, so we are very pretentious about that as well.
I think my most interesting class would probably be theatre history.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you hear history and you're like, bleh. But it has been such a fascinating class. It predates all the way to kind of the antiquity time of the Romans and the Greeks. And it is the study of human behavior and how it is dramatized and how it's been recorded for posterity's sake. Everything is relatable.
Every engineer has to do a capstone class, as we call it,
Right.
where it's a culmination of all your other classes and you have to contribute to the real world
Okay.
in a scientific
Like
manner.
a project.
Like a project, but something that is actually, say, marketable. At the end
Oh,
of the day.
okay.
We were given some amount of money and we were told to take anything we thought interesting apart, make a few changes and remake it.
Wow.
It was definitely something that we had a lot of fun doing, and it taught us how to really apply what we've learned to actually build something that's useful.
Yeah.
My favorite class at Babson is this class that I took with Professor Leonard Green. And a lot of who I am today is because of that one class.
Okay.
It's modeled around The Apprentice. At the beginning of the class, they pick 10 CEOs, and the professor just gives you one instruction that it is your class and you have to do what you have to do with it. Every week you're given 3 consulting assignments to work on, which are real life projects. So you could be consulting a spectrum of people from different company sizes. I consulted someone from a death management company to a local restaurant to someone who is running a business out of their dorm room. At the end of the consulting assignment, you're given like virtual money. You have to pay your employees. There's employee poaching that happens. There's mergers and acquisitions that happen. So it's like a real world, but just like simulated.
Surprisingly, it wasn't any of my psychology modules. It was an extra module that I took this year, which was Mandarin.
Oh, okay.
And I really enjoyed the class. It's just because I've studied French and Spanish as well before,
Okay.
and it's completely different. And it's like the script is so different because each character like symbolizes the word it means.
Oh, okay.
So it's really interesting, and I loved it.
For me, I love Japanese. I studied modern Japanese first as a language, and the program itself was really intense. Daily class, 5 credit course, which is kind of uncommon, and the whole class itself is only in the Japanese language. You're not allowed to speak English. So on the first day itself, they started talking to us in Japanese, and we were just staring at the teacher like, what do we do? But it's kind of, it's like immersion, like language by immersion. So I really enjoyed that class. I took 2 semesters of it, and now I'm doing second level Japanese this year.
Oh, wow. Fabulous. So did you get past learning all those alphabets?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff sitting in my head right now.
So, surprisingly enough, it's actually not even a tech-related class.
Oh, okay.
It's a class that I took for my humanities requirement. It was a Southern poetry class.
Oh, okay.
I really liked it because it was a small class, so there was just 20 people in the class, and because it was an elective, there were people there who were genuinely interested and who wanted to learn that material. So the discussion was always like of a really high quality, and I sort of really appreciated that. I've also never studied American poetry before.
Yeah.
Because the IB was very concentrated on British poetry.
Right. Wow. So did that give you a perspective on American history and the cultural aspect as well?
Definitely, because a lot of Southern poetry is based on larger cultural issues like racism and Southern poets and their lifestyles and the kind of environments that they grew up in. So with like racism, it's a really big topic that a lot of people just, you know, being international students, you don't want to touch because you don't know where that pin pricks, but you're in a class where that's a topic and it's, you know, just everyone's being able to talk about it and you're really learning more about a sensitive issue that you don't know how to address before.
Yeah.
So I think that was something very useful that I got out of that class.
Wow.
So I said it was this class called Literature Humanities. Literature Humanities is a year-long class that all freshmen at Columbia have to take. The way the class is structured is it's a seminar with 15 odd students, all from different parts of the world, different backgrounds, different majors and so on. And the class is essentially a survey of some of the great works in Western civilization. So you start with books from ancient Greece like Homer's Iliad and you go all the way up to Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse. What I'd say was most interesting about that class was just exposure to truly great books that I'd always wanted to read in high school but was too lazy to actually read on my own. And also it was just being exposed to so many different perspectives in one room and looking at how many ways there are to read the same text and seeing how much you can get out of one text by just having various different opinions in the classroom.
In summer I did a course on Bitcoins and other banking technology. That's definitely been my favorite course in UST because it was taught by a guy who was teaching for the first time. He wasn't a professor.
Okay.
He was a JP Morgan guy and he saw a 2-week course and all of us actually loved it, and because of that they've actually made him an official professor now and he does the course throughout the semester with different topics every semester. So he didn't have any exams, it was very presentation based, discussion based, entire grading was in that. And so he had speakers coming from outside who are actually running Bitcoin companies or banking or peer-to-peer lending companies. So every day was a different speaker and we got to interact with them in person.
The most interesting class I had over there was nothing related to journalism at all.
Okay.
They allowed us to do subject modules from another course. So I picked up, since I play a little bit of guitar and dabble in a bit of music, I took up a music course there as well. So it was actually fun to be able to be given that kind of flexibility with that kind of course.
The Experimental College. What it is an institution where you can take courses from master students, ex-students, senior students about any kind of topic that they want to teach about. So I was offered a course called The Politics of Game of Thrones in my first semester.
Wow.
Last semester, a senior friend of mine taught a course on Harry Potter. And a friend of mine has also taken a course on history of rock and roll. So these are unconventional topics and you get credits for them.
Oh boy.
So it sort of allows you to have that letting off steam course as well along with your requirements.
Please click the subscribe button below. Like me at facebook.com/ChetChat101. Follow my Twitter handle ChetChat101 or at Instagram ChetChat101. Please leave your comments in the sections below, and if you'd like me to feature any particular college, please let me know. Thank you.